we've got Great White, 1987, Lady Red Light for the shorts. And we will go over that. And then on my shirt, this is the Lynx 09, the tall ship, America's privateer. Let's see if you can see it okay. I don't know. The ship. It says, in 2009, the tall ship Lynx, America's privateer, competed in the Trans-Pacific Yacht Race, captained by Lloyd Sellinger. And following the race, the vessel docked at the Hawaii Yacht Club Aloha Dock through July 30th, 2009 for tours and adventure sails. The ship was Ko Olina Marina and Resort from August 1st to the 9th. Then it returned to a Pacific Sail training voyage from Kauai to San Diego and was scheduled for August 18th through September 8th, 2009. Now, I don't know why I was supposed to tell you all about this ship. I told you I'm going through my t-shirts one at a time, and when I go through my t-shirts, they pick them out, they give me assignments, I do them in Astro, I bring them to you in 4D. So last night, obviously, we were dealing with water. We were in the ocean, we were tying up loose ends. We were dealing with a lot of black snakes. So if you guys know what them long black snakes are, we were dealing with a lot of them, literally and not literally. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Other than that, Lady Red Light, 1987, was very specific in 87. That was exactly the energy that I was in. I love Great White. Once bitten, twice shy. But we're going to go over the cards. The song is basically just somebody that wants to be with somebody that makes them feel good. Okay? And that's what we all want. We all want that Nine of Cups energy where our wishes and our desires come true. And that was in the shorts. So we're just going to go over it real quickly. I want to tell you that I love you guys, and we did a great job last night. If any of you are exhausted, that's because ocean work ain't always easy. Poseidon is one of my guides, and I am a past mermaid. So, and I know a lot of you are. I've even showed you my male mermaid card, which is the Knight of Cups in my Mage Tarot deck. So, we're going to get right into this. We've got Ask God and you will see the answer. And the Ten of Wands. This is the ending card, okay? That's from the shorts. So, it's basically just saying to keep going. Ask God for help and keep going. Okay, underneath Ask God was the Strength card. So just have courage, ask God. The last card out was the Two of Wands. That's being courageous and daring. Okay, so this energy is all about, if I had to put it in a nutshell, it's like the energy from last night's ocean voyage that we were on. And it's being courageous and daring. It's knowing that you want to do this. You're with your soul team. You're doing the Four of Wands, Six of Swords, Six of Cups energy, which is Six of Swords is moving on. Four of Wands is the gathering of the souls. Six of Cups is your future self, getting rid of your past self, right? And you're into your You have peace with the past, and now you're moving forward with your future self. That's why we were doing all these Black Snake Ocean Voyage mission, I guess I would call it. And it does stem back to 2009. It does stem back to that. We have two different energies. One is the energy we did in Astro, which stems back to 209, and we're taking care of all the business and the karma and the bullshit that happened at that time. That's what the t-shirt's for. You get a t-shirt like you get a statue, okay? I say statues and t-shirts all the time because that's what we get for our trophies on this planet at this time. So in 2009, instead of making statues of us all, we get t-shirts. Yay! Okay, and I won't get into that, but if you know, you know. You know, if you're part of this, you're in Astro with us, you're doing this makes total sense to you. If this makes no sense to you, then it could be future influence, something to do with ships, something to do with your future assignment of going undersea, underwater. But most of you, I tell you, I'm astro channeling for you because you're following every day, because you're with me every night. That's why a lot of you all say to you, I'll see you tonight in Astro, or don't worry about it, I'm with you every night in Astro, because we're more together in Astro than we are in 4D. 4D, I probably don't even know who you are watching. But in 5D, I know who you are, and I tell you, just keep watching the energy, because what I'm doing for you is helping you in this physical avatar. I'm helping you to get through the last part of this movie, okay? So we've got Page of Pentacles energy, which is ambitious. This is all about being courageous, daring, ambitious, Two of Wands. And the moon energy that was in there was just trusting your intuition. That's all it was. You're going through mysteries and you need to face your fears. Last night, having all them black snakes around, you know, that's not something that's exactly fearless, right? And yet you just have to go in and take care of business. And like I said, literally and not literally. Okay? And the song energy is all about just going forward and keeping Lady Red Light. Nothing to do with red lights in Nevada, the girls working the streets, even though it could be, you know, some of them men might have found solace in their girls on the street. But the energy I'm getting now, I mean, back in '87, we were promiscuous, right? Yeah, confirmation. We were not celibate. I was not celibate in '87, okay? But now that energy, Lady Red Light's energy, is an energy of our ancient ones, our soul tribe, want to be reunited with us. Okay? Why do they want to be reunited with us? Because we make them feel at home. And we're all going home soon. Okay? Home, okay? Whether it's you're staying here and doing your project, or whether you are going to stay on the spaceship and go to your home, okay? And then the other thing I wanted to tell you is back in '87, I had a waterbed, and in the early '80s, I had a waterbed too. And on my spaceship lately, I've been using the waterbed because you can do whatever you want. You make your room however you want. It's not physical like this. I can just say, oh, I want gold lights blinking up and down behind me, and then gold lights will be blinking up and down behind me. I see Willie here. He wants to get into the picture. So he likes the candle and the incense. I'm surprised he's that close to the candle and the incense. But yeah, so I've been in a waterbed lately, And that's a lot of the energy too. I think waterbeds went out of style because they kept busting or something, but I loved them. And I know there was a waterbed store and they were in all the houses. I even had one on the second floor back in the 80s. And I just love them. So I don't know if you guys like waterbeds or if you remember them, but everything's being really Six of Cups energy right now, this nostalgia. And the reason you're getting that is not because you lowered your timeline. It's not because you lowered your level on your timeline. It's because of the fact that we're closing everything out. If you were a mechanic or maybe even a doctor or a lawyer, some fancy profession where an old client called you up and said, "Can you come refix my car?" Well, from A to B, you weren't sitting there worrying about the car because you're past that. It's way down the road. You're on other people's cars, other people's patients and clients, right? But when that person calls you up and says, my carburetor's not working again, well, you have to go back in time to carburetors and back in time to when you fixed that car, and everything kind of goes backwards in your mind. But that don't mean that you went down a timeline. That doesn't take away from where you're at. You're just closing up some loose ends, redoing some things that you did in the past. That's the energy right now. It's a nostalgic energy, but it's a tying up loose ends. And that's in Astro and in 4D. So you might have to say goodbye to some family members, some friends, some old cars, some things that really mean something to you. You might get rid of your whole DVD collection because you don't need it. Everything's on your phone now. You see what the kind of energy I'm talking about? It's a nostalgic energy that's keeping you forward, but you're getting it gone. You're getting it gone. You're putting it behind you. Okay, so that's the energy. I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle these. And, oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to get some from St. Michael. I got some cards here from St. Michael. We're going to see what he wants to tell you. But it's really important to know that we have to tie up loose ends. If you told that person, "No, I'm not going to help you with your carburetor," then somebody else is just going to come along and screw up your good mechanic work. So you might as well keep that same customer, keep working on that same old 84 El Camino, and you might as well keep fixing that carburetor on that 79 Ford, right? Just keep doing it for the people. When they break, they break. Just because you go backwards doesn't mean that you're going backwards. You might be even smarter now and you can finish the job in half the time. You may even be smarter now and they might have different carburetors and you can put a better one in than you did 5 years ago. So that's what we're doing. So when we went back to that 2009 ship, the Ocean, you see literally and not literally, we're taking care of the loose ends. So I've got two cards I felt, one on the top and one on the bottom. The one on the bottom we had yesterday, Decide to Be Happy Now. And St. Michael is saying the one on the top is write down your thoughts and your feelings. Okay? So what he's saying is just what I'm saying. Write down your thoughts and your feelings. Write down your projects. Write down what you're feeling. Get ready for the future as if, but if it doesn't ever happen that you have to do a project, then oh well, then you might not be able to do the $1 million part of it, but you certainly can get your the smaller part of the project in. Remember, I said I wanted an indoor swimming pool and a theater and a recording studio in my house, right? If I have to stay here living in a physical house somewhere, but I have a lot of money. Well, the project doesn't come through or the funding doesn't come through, and we're still like this next year. Well, then what you have to do is improvise. Maybe go out, like I said, donate your old DVDs and upgrade your computer system and your phone. Get a Bluetooth and get speakers. You know, all I'm saying is that you can still do your project. It's just the funding may limit what parts of the project you can actually fulfill. You can still write music, you can still play in your garden, etc., etc. So decide to be happy now. Quit waiting for, remember that poem that said, I'll be happy when I get my first bike. I'll be happy when I go to kindergarten. I'll be happy when I graduate high school. You know, it was always, I'll be happy when I get married. It was always ahead of us. I'll be happy then, you know. And St. Michael's saying, now is the time to be happy. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the Lightseer deck. Is this a Lightseer deck? Let me think. No, this is the Rider-Waite deck. Does it really matter what their names are? So many readers are always talking about the names of the decks and... Okay, anyway, I'm not comparing myself to anybody, believe me, because there is not another Miss Mystic. We are all unique. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Death card. Everything I just said. We're putting the past behind us, but we're using our past as an asset. Okay, so when you get your assignment in Astro, whatever you're doing, not in Astro, in your physical 4D body, do it with the knowledge from the past and then take it into today and use it. Whether you're a dental hygienist to a lawn care giver. One more thing I have to mention. Robert, the maintenance man, I had asked you to give us some prayers for him. I ran into him yesterday. He pulled up in his new maintenance truck. He's got all of the prayers that he wanted, pretty much, right, answered, okay? So his life did a complete turnaround from our prayers. And he thanked us. And you know what? God is good. That first card out in the shorts is Ask God. And he does. He's big into God. And you know what? He wanted me to say thank you to you guys. So, Robert, if you're listening, if you're not listening, we're together every night in Astro. But if you're listening, you take that new maintenance truck, you take the energy of all the stuff you learned in the past, and you put it into today's assignments. All of you listening have to do something today. You're going to have to surrender to something today. And it might as well be God and the energy that I'm telling you about. That's why I do these readings. Okay, so we have the Death card, and that's why I do them early in the morning, because as soon as I get up from Astro, I feed the animals, but it doesn't take away from my Astro energy. But as soon as, 3-4 hours go by, you start getting more matrixed, more 3D, because maybe you had to pay some bills or you got some phone calls or you're at work. And doing readings in the afternoon or night are not for me, because you're going to get too much of an earthly energy. And I want you to have astro energy, because that's what you want to work with in your 4D body. You can still have a physical avatar and have your head in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. We have the Hierophant under the Death card, and I believe that's exactly what I just said. You can still have your head in the air, in the clouds, in 5D. You're thinking, that is, you're thinking, right? And you still can be planted on the earth, paying your bills and doing your job. Exactly. So stay in that Hierophant energy. Then on top we have Judgment. That's what's going on right now. A lot of tying up the loose ends and Judgment. And you're hearing that all over about mass arrests and the truth coming out. And you're hearing it everywhere. Judgment is in play. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Now, what I'm drawn to is the red shoes and the swords. Now, what that means to me, we've got the red light, very significant. The White House was all in red. The red shoes are a symbol of the pedophiles and the tunnel work. And the seven swords are, look at, he's only got two more. He's got two standing and he's got five in his arms. And that reminded me of like last night with the black snakes. So you're going to have to go deep with this and you're going to have to see what I'm saying. So you got five swords you're carrying and you still got two on the ground. It's crystal clear to me, but I'm not here to explain it to you because I'm not here to explain what we do in astro. Secret mission, right? I'm here to explain how to function in the fucking avatars that we got and the 4D shit that we're going through. Balance. All about the Two of Pentacles and balance. Okay, so that was your conclusion. Your conclusion, you had the Two of Wands was the Two of Wands was the last card out on the shorts. Courageous, daring, lots of possibilities. That's going towards your love and your wishes and your desires, your Nine of Cups. The Two of Pentacles is your last card out for the reading on the astral work, bringing it into 4D work. That's basically what we're trying to do with that energy right now. You're doing two things. Okay, now this is a perfect card to end it with because we had that Death card and we had the Hierophant and the Judgment card, right? The card that fell on the ground was the Hierophant. So be really in your Hierophant state. But this is a really perfect card to come out at the end because what I want to explain to you is we're juggling two things right now. We're juggling astro, bringing in that kind of energy to make it literal and taking out the snakes, right? And then we're balancing the love because we still want that lady red light energy. We still want to be with somebody that's just like us. Because this would be a lot funner if you had somebody to do it with, right? You do in astro and you know how much fun it is. Well, wouldn't that be funner to finish this with our partner? Okay, but I keep telling you, some of you can't do that because your person is too high ranked, and is not coming back and getting a physical avatar. You've also heard about walk-ins. The first thing I did when I talked to my last mission partner that I was with for 30 years was I said, you need to get a walk-in. You need to do a walk-in. Well, one is there's not a whole lot of bodies left anymore that actually are not tainted. I'm not going to all get into all that, but that was one of the reasons. And the second reasons is a lot of times your soul contract has somebody else coming in, so the person that passed over cannot come back physically. They have to stay helping you in their light body. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So there's a lots of different reasons why some of you are alone, and there's lots of reasons why you don't have a physical soul group. Don't worry about it. You just keep moving forward. You just keep on rocking. You just keep on doing this, and you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, I want to thank everybody for listening. I am Miss Mystic. It didn't want to blow out.